What do we think? The Ray Dunn Show, one and done, done deal live? This new solo show has a whole host of possibilities. She's in Fort Worth for the men's tournament? All right, well, I'll give you the recap on the women's year, and we can see what Sage has in store in the Lone Star State. You're watching Courts in Session. And welcome into Courts in Session. I'm Ray Dunn, and I'm riding solo as we navigate AAC Tournament Week. My co-anchor Sage Hurley is racking up the frequent flyer miles and will be joining us momentarily from Fort Worth, Texas. Today's show, however, starts with the women's AAC Tournament. Just miles from SMU's campus, the Owls and Mustangs matched up in the second round of the AAC Tournament from Fort Worth. Both teams had a bye in the tournament to get to this point. Imani Mayo got the Owls on the board with a triple, one of her 2 threes in this game. At the first quarter buzzer, SMU senior Jasmine Smith is able to extend the Mustangs' lead to 5 with a floater. She finished with a game-high 16. Mia Davis trying to keep the Owls in this, getting 2 of her 12 points. However, it is not enough. The Mustangs hold off the Owls and advance the AAC semifinals 63-55.
There's just so many games that we let slip away because we weren't paying attention, or we gave up offensive rebounds, or we turned the ball over. So when I look back, I feel like we underachieved, that we could have been, or we should have been so much better than we were.
It's sad that it's a lot of our last game, and I wish it would have ended a different way.
It started out exciting with a slew of recruits and transfers to complement the superstar Mia Davis. Of the supporting cast, Anaya Gordine shined the most. Whether it was the triple doubles or her hawking defensive presence, she showed out. But the story of the season, Davis Watch. With this bucket against Wichita State, Mia Davis passed Marilyn Stevens as Temple's all-time women's basketball leading scorer. After that game, however, the season went south. The Owls lost 6 of their last 8 and finished 13-15. With the end of the season comes the end of the road for a few Owls, most notably Temple women's basketball's all-time leading scorer Mia Davis. With 5 years and 2,376 points to her name, her Temple career is over. Elsewhere, Imani Mayo, Shantae Taylor, and Jalen Holmes all saw their careers end as well. With those 4 leaving the nest, it's worth wondering what will next season look like for the women's basketball team. Joining us now is Owl Sports Update's Vic Raghupati with more from Plasma. Hi, Vic.
Hi, Ray. Yes, let's talk about the future of Temple women's basketball in a post-Mia Davis era. You touched on it earlier, but Anaya Gordine was remarkable in her freshman season. Fitting, considering she, like Davis, came to North Broad via St. Francis. The triple-double was a foreign concept to Owls women basketball before Gordine notched 2 of them last month. Plus, she hounded offenses to the tune of 2 steals a game. I'd like to see Gordine improve on her 37% clip from the field, but she is a precocious player, and the future is bright for her in cherry and white. Ray, back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Vic. Don't go anywhere just yet. With the women's season in the rear view, it's time to look ahead to the other tournament in Fort Worth. The men's side is getting underway, a Friday matinee for the local guys with number 4 Temple taking on number 5 Tulane. We take you down to Fort Worth, Texas, where Sage Hurley is standing by with a report on Aaron McKee's crew.
I'm here in Fort Worth, Texas, where Temple Tulane is set to tip off at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. On Thursday, we had the chance to catch up with Temple ahead of their first game of the AAC Conference Tournament, and here's what they had to say.
I think just sticking to our game plan, just for the full 40 minutes. I think last year we didn't do a great job of, following through with our exact game plan and how we wanted to guard some guys. And we know what those guys are going to do. We just need to do what we do. We got to guard our tails off and rebound that ball and take care of the ball.
Now both of these two teams have overachieved this season. Temple was projected to finish 8th in the AAC Conference preseason poll and Tulane 9th. But now they have one chance to move on in postseason play, and that starts with a win today here in Fort Worth, Texas.
Thanks, Sage. Now, we told Vic not to go anywhere. With the Owls and Green Wave facing off for the third time this season, we want his keys to victory for this rubber match in the AAC tournament. How will the Owls get to the next round?
Well, if they're going to do it, it's going to be in a close game. During the regular season, each team held serve at home, and the average margin of victory was just 7 points. Tulane was fundamentally sound in both games. The Green Wave averaged a mere 10.5 turnovers and didn't yield many second chance opportunities. Offensively, the Owls will have to take care of business in the half court, especially from distance. And on defense, they must secure the painted area. In their OT win on February 12th, the Green Wave inundated the Owls, flooding the paint with 36 points compared to Temple's 18. But in the rematch a week and a half ago, Temple matched Tulane's low post production, leading to an Owls win. The 4 and 5 seeds square off at 3 in Dickies Arena. Back to you, Ray.
Thanks, Vic. On Wednesday, the AAC announced its men's honors for the 2021-22 season. Redshirt freshman Damian Dunn found his way onto the league all-conference second team after finishing in the top 10 in the league in scoring for the second straight season. Freshmen Zach Hicks and Jaleel White both placed on the all-freshman team, each of them graduating into bigger roles this season due to injuries to regular starters, and they showed tremendous growth. The bigger story from the American Athletic Conference honors is who was not included. For the second consecutive season, Jeremiah Williams was not acknowledged by the league. So it's time to rant against this unjust vote. The league honored 16 players as a part of its 3 all-conference teams. Williams put UCF third-teamer Darren Green in a jail cell in the Owls' January matchup with the Knights, limiting the top scorer to 7 points. Green also shot a lower percentage and averaged fewer rebounds and assists than Williams this season. Cincinnati third-teamer David DeJulius shot just 31% against Temple this season and averaged fewer assists, rebounds, and steals than Williams. The Owls' lead man could have replaced either one of those players on the third team. And the Defensive Player of the Year, Dexter Dennis of Wichita State. Jeremiah Williams had more steals in fewer games. Williams was the leader of a defense that by most metrics finished near the top of the country. This league ought to give the Owls point guard some respect, just like I just did. Elsewhere in the AAC, beware the madness of March. Final regular season game for Tulsa and UCF last Sunday, and are you kidding me? Jariah Horn at the Horn. The Golden Hurricanes shocked the Knights on the regular season's final Sunday. Yet, just a few days later, their season is over. Fun while it lasted. Now looking ahead to the AAC tournament, we want to know who can create the next iconic moment. For that, we welcome on Owl Sports Update's Dan Briglia to break down a player to watch.
Thanks, Ray. The AAC player that I'm going to be keeping an eye on is Kyler Edwards. This year, when Houston's leading scorer, Marcus Sasser, had a head injury, taking him out for the season, senior Kyler Edwards stepped up and filled that role. Kyler leads his team at about 13 points per game on 36.9 shooting average. While averaging close to 6 rebounds and 3 assists per game, I expect Kyler and Houston to try to take over the tournament with their unselfish, team-oriented style of play.
That's a great one. There's another one for me that I really like from those top seeds, and there's only one top 5 game-breaking talent in this league. That's Jalen Duren. Duren this season has had an incredible second half to his stretch. He wreaks havoc for this Memphis team and really tormented the league, especially Houston, in a few games this season. He's averaging over 14 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game over the team's last 9 games. In that stretch, as I mentioned, he's been key to Memphis's 2 wins over Houston. It's going to be a fun weekend in Fort Worth. Thanks, Dan, for the visit. Those may be the players you want to watch, but these are the shows you better be watching. Mondays, it's our Sports Brief. Tuesdays, Owl Access Pass with Lindsay Moppert. Wednesdays, our brand new podcast, Off Air with Jay Rosen. Thursdays, it's our flagship Owl Sports Update, and we wrap it up Fridays with Courts in Session. This court, however, is about to be adjourned. Temple men's basketball plays Tulane this afternoon. Is there a run in this team, or will next week's Courts in Session be the last of the season? Until next time, I'm Ray Dunn. Thanks for watching.